there, Stampers. It's Jackie Bolhuis from Klompen Stampers. Today we're going to make a fall-themed card. But really, you know what? It could be for any time of the year, but I'm just really feeling the fall right now, so we're going for fall colors. We're going to use the stamp set and dies from the Blackberry Beauty suite of products. Now, the one thing I found is I love how Stampin' Up! Puts their catalog together with these gorgeous suites and all these coordinating products. But sometimes we don't want the whole suite, or maybe we can't afford the whole suite, but we love the stamps. Quite often, I will buy just the stamps, or maybe the stamps and the dies. You don't always need the whole suite, and I think sometimes we forget that. We look at the whole thing, and we think it's like an all or nothing. So today, we're going to focus just on the stamp set and the dies without all the other stuff on a pretty simple card. Well, actually, everything I do is simple. We're just going to add a few parts and pieces and layer them up and make a cute card. Now, I hope you enjoyed today's project. It's, you know, more, I guess, kind of me as far as the nature and whatnot. The last video I did was all about those cute, adorable squirrels. Did you see that one? If not, make sure you go back and watch it. Now, if this is the first video of mine that you've happened across, welcome. I'm glad you're here. I love to share quick and easy card making ideas. I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I would love to be your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator if you don't already have one. Send you a catalog, help you in any way I can, and help you place an order for any great Stampin' Up! Products that you might need. You can hop over to my website, klompenstampers.com, and you'll find all kinds of fun information over there and some great resources for those of you that are beginning on your card making journey. So enough of that chit chat. Let's go ahead, flip the camera down because I'm excited to share these projects with you today. Hold on one second. Now here's a peek in the catalog of this gorgeous suite. Like I said, I love the colors and all these coordinating products, but sometimes we're not ready to dive into the whole shebang, but the stamp set and maybe the dies will catch our eye. So that's what we're gonna focus on today, is just using this Beauty of Tomorrow stamp set and the coordinating dies, even though I love it all. Actually, if you've already registered, or maybe you're thinking about registering for our upcoming Creative 8 retreat, I am featuring more of these products in one of my projects at the retreat I made. And I'm going to be totally honest, I think they're gorgeous cards using this suite along with that beautiful shimmer gold vellum and this designer series paper. So I hope you're joining us for the Creative 8 retreat. If you haven't registered, there's still time. The retreat is coming up on October 24th. It's almost here. And I'd love to have you join me on that retreat. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, hop over to the website, klompenstampers.com. Click on Creative 8 up at the top and it'll tell you everything about the retreat. You don't want to miss out. We have so much stamping fun for you. Okay, put that aside. Stamp set and dies is what we're focusing on today. And since I'm really into the fall colors right now, we're really bringing it down to fall with the crumb cake as our main color on our cardstock. Now, I have a piece here. We have a piece that's 8.5 by 5.5 for our card base. And then I have a layer. Let's see, this looks like it's about 5 by 2.5. Now, don't worry about these measurements. I'll have them all on the blog post that goes with this video. So link will be down in the video description. You'll get pictures of the cards plus a list of all the supplies, colors, measurements, and everything you need so that you can make this card. Okay. Soft suede. We're going to start with soft suede, and we're going to start with one of the greeting sets. The changing of leaves reminds us that new wonders are all around the corner. But what I'm going to do, because remember, we're not using our designer series paper. So I needed kind of a background for my card. So I am just stamping these words as my background. Oh, let's see, we need to sneak one in there. So I just essentially made a piece of designer series paper. It's just a nice background for our card using that soft suede and one of the greetings. So let's set that aside. Now we're gonna have lots of parts and pieces to put this card together. So let's get all our parts and pieces first, then we'll make our card. How's that sound? Okay, scrap, basic white here, and we're going to stamp a couple of our images. That flower, we have Calypso Coral. That's my new fall favorite color. You know, years ago, this color's been around for a long time, and I don't think I ever really embraced this color. I didn't like it, but I don't think I gave it a try because now I'm loving it. Okay, 2 of those images, and then what I'm going to do is use the dies and cut this out. And so that one goes on there, that one goes on there. And while I'm over there, I'm going to use this great big die on a piece of mossy meadow. So I'll be right back with the die cut pieces, and I think we're almost ready to put our card together. So hang on one second. Okay, here we go. Look at how big this piece is. I love this. And there's lots of great uses for it. You know, at first thought, you think you got to use the whole thing big, but it also cuts apart. So you'll see that in a sec. Here are our two other pieces. So we'll set those there. And there's one more that we need. We need our greeting for the front of this card. So I am going to, again, just go on a piece of scrap paper here. And we're going to stamp that. We're using mossy meadow. Now, when you notice most of my card recipes on my website for greetings, it'll just say like a scrap for your greeting. Because the way I like to create is stamp on a scrap and then trim it out. That way, especially for something like this, that's a pretty narrow, what am I doing? I'm talking and doing this at one time, and it's not working so good here. But, you know, when your greeting is a real small piece like this, I find it is way, way easier to just stamp on your scrap and then go ahead and trim it. You could even use your scissors if you want. But it's a lot easier than trying to pre-cut and figure out what size to pre-cut and all that stuff. So there's our greeting. I think we're ready to put our card together. So let's go ahead and start with this. Now, look at how big this is. I don't want it that big for the card I'm making. I want it to pretty much just fit over my layer here. So what I'm going to do, and you don't even have to cut perfect. Let's see. I'm going to go up that way, and then let's just kind of trim off some of these leaves. And no one will ever know that I cut this piece apart because it's going to look great on its own. Let's see. So we'll trim that off. How are we doing here? I think we might need to be just a little bit smaller. Let's go ahead and trim these guys off as well. Get that. There we go. I like that. It's hanging off just a teeny tiny bit, but not too overpowering for us. You know, this guy's kind of hanging down here on his own. There we go. We're going to call it good on that. And I'm just using my liquid, oh, that came out way too fast. And I'm just kind of putting little dots in kind of the middle. I don't want it stuck down really solid because I like the look with things like this, that they're a little bit loose, you know, and they kind of naturally curl up just a little bit. There we go. We've got that on there. Now next, let's grab our dimensionals, and we're going to take these two pieces that we stamped and cut out. You know, this is one of those stamp sets that I feel like, you know, just make yourself a bunch of pieces, which is what we did here. And then we're going to just put this together and see how it ends up. You know, I love, you know, these more nature. Oh, my fingers aren't working so good on that dimensional, are they? Let's use let's see. Our old faithful tip there. You know what? That dimensional, I think that's a defective dimensional. Seriously, that top doesn't want to come off. So let's go ahead and grab another one. But, you know, especially these nature pieces, and when there's just so many different pieces that go together, I like to just stamp a bunch, cut a bunch out, and then just start putting it together, and we'll see what we end up doing. So we'll put that one down. Now with this piece, I'm only putting, notice, a dimensional over at this side because I want it to kind of overlap. And if I put a dimensional here as well, we'd kind of be lopsided. But we're going to cross them over. Now we're stuck down right there. Now I know it's a little floppy, but hold on, because we're going to take this piece. Remember our nice little greeting here. And if I put two of these, actually they need to be a little bit more in the middle here. Let's just move that one in. You'll see why here in a second. And then I'm going to just stick those over. Now that's going to hold everything down. Okay. And there we go. There is what I like to call our focal point of our card. And then we're going to go ahead and let's flip this over and add more dimensionals. Now this is a pretty big layer. So if you're going to use dimensionals on a pretty big layer, don't be stingy with them. Remember, dimensionals are not expensive. Add a pack to every order and you'll never run out. That would be terrible to run out of dimensionals, wouldn't it? There we go. We're going to just stick that a little bit. Let's come over a little bit to the right. And there we go. There is our, it's really simple. Just lots of parts and pieces, did some cutting, and then put our card together. Now make sure you always stamp the inside. We want the insides to be just as pretty. So we have a piece of basic white. And let's just go ahead and stamp that image a couple of times. And then there's another greeting. The stamp set just has some really pretty greetings. Some people are just likable. And then we're going to stamp this one on here. You're one of those people. So we're going to do that. That piece of basic white, I believe, is 5 by 3 3/4. Now remember, all of these measurements are on that blog post. So just follow the link over there. You'll be able to get them. We're just going to layer that by a piece of cardstock that is 1/8 inch bigger. When I do all my layering, when I layer, I like to use 1/8 as the size to layer, 1/8 bigger. So if this is 5 by 3 3/4, my layer is going to be 5 1/8, and 3 3/4, 1/8 bigger would be 3 7/8. So there's that one. And then we're just going to go ahead and stick that inside. I like to layer on the inside just like the outside. I think it gives your card a nice finished look, especially when you have white, so that you have a place to write your greeting and sign your name. So there you go. I hope you like this card with Beauty of Tomorrow. But before you go, let me share one other one with you. You know me, I can never stop at just one card when I'm creating. So here is another one. And you can see here is most of that whole big piece. I had to trim it off a little bit here because it kind of came off of the edge. But again, just a cutout piece. There's our bird. And then I use my stitch rectangle dies to kind of pop up the middle part of that. But again, kind of staying with those nice fall colors. Stamp the inside very similar. But again, with this suite, I only used the stamps and the dies. I did not use the vellum, the designer series paper, the embellishments, and all the other fun things. But I'll be using those when I'm on my projects for the retreat. So I hope you join us at that Creative 8 retreat that's coming up real soon. Let me know if you have questions on these cards, the retreat, or anything else when it comes to Stampin' Up. And then check out my website and the blog post that goes with these, and you'll find out all the information and details on these cards. Thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it. I love to stamp with you, and I'll be back again stamping real soon. Have a stamp happy day.